just like yesterday, 10 or 20 minutes to give a kind of advertisement for the school. So you might see something on your screen saying that we are live. Don't worry about that. Everything is as usual. You don't need to do anything. It's just for a short time. I'm going to start the recording now. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so this is OET listening. It's Tuesday. Yesterday we did a bit of vocabulary and I uploaded that document onto the website. Today we're going to focus on part A of the exam. And in my classes, I am a little bit obsessed with just doing 3 things. I feel like that's a good amount of things to do in any 1-hour class. So we're going to look at the format today. We're going to discuss techniques. So maybe Carmen, Erzat, Hussein, these kinds of people, Marwa, maybe you guys can do a little bit of teaching today. Talk in groups about techniques. At the end of this class, we'll do some practice. So we'll do obviously a practice test and you can see how good you are doing. So let's get started. This is the plan for today. OET listening, part C. Part A, sorry. Can I ask to speak to start off with, can I ask to speak to Nyok? Are you available, Nyok? Could you put your microphone on,
Yes,
sir?
I'm available.
Okay, so we're looking at format. What does format mean? I always...
The style of the listening pattern.
The style. That's a good way to reply. The style, or what else, guys, does format mean? The style of the test?
The way of
How
listening.
about
The
Structure.
what? The
Structure. The structure.
structure?
Now, there's many people in this room who know this very, very well. Okay, I know that a lot of you know it, but there are people who are new and are starting. So I'm going to start the class today by talking about the format of OET listening A. Now, I will speak about this for about 2 or 3 minutes. You must write down notes. Is that okay, everyone?
Will be
Yeah.
speaking.
Yes.
I will speak about this topic, about the format, for 2 or 3 minutes now. You guys are going to write notes. I will then ask questions. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, it's good.
So it's like a listening test, okay? But we're talking about the format of the test. Okay, so I have this written down. Write notes about what I say, okay? So 1 second. I'm going to make one mistake. So see if you can hear my mistake. Just one. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so OET listening part A is a difficult part of the exam. The OET exam is quite difficult in general, but part A, you have 24 questions and there are 12 questions for each audio. Each audio is approximately 5 minutes long and the situation you listen to is usually basically a consultation. It can be with a specialist or it can be with a GP. There are 30 seconds to read the question paper before the audio starts, and then you write down your answers in the gaps. You fill in the gaps, okay? Now, spelling is important. You cannot make errors that will confuse people. You cannot confuse people with your spelling. At the end of the test, you will have 2 minutes for the paper test to check your spellings. So after part C, in the paper test, you will have 2 minutes to check your spellings. In the computer test, you will have 5 minutes to check your spellings at the end of part A. Okay? As I said, I'm going to make one error. This is a listening test, Hussein. Okay? Finally, what are they testing? They are testing listening for details. Okay? So in parts B, listening part B and part C, they are testing more general and deeper understanding. But in this part of the test, it's listening for details. Okay, so I hope you guys were writing notes. I made one error there. I'll ask you later, but I want to see how much you guys actually understood. Okay, so Nyok, what was the first thing that I said? What was the very first thing I said?
Yeah, you said the exam is difficult.
I said it was
Part
a
A is difficult.
difficult test. I said OET and Part A. Good. What was the first format thing that I said, though, Nyok? What was the first format thing?
Okay, they said the exam consists of 24 questions.
And is this correct, guys? Are there 24 questions? Everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Marwa, Ramona, what did I say next? What did I say?
12 each.
12 each. Is it correct, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
12 each audio. Hussein, what did I say after 12 each audio? What did I say next?
You said for each question, for each audio, we have 12, totally 24 questions.
After that, what did I say? Anyone want to help him? What did I say?
About 5 minutes.
Approximately
5
5
minutes long.
minutes.
He said
Audio,
About 5
5
minutes.
Yeah. Well, I gave the length of the audio. Each audio clip, guys, is about 5 minutes, as we always say every week. Okay, what did I mention next? Carmen, did you get what I said next? Writing it down. Or Marwa, or Najibullah. What did I say next?
30 seconds at the
30
beginning.
seconds we have before the audio start.
Actually, I said something before that.
Yes.
Consultation.
The
Consultation.
situation.
Consultation. Yeah.
I said the situation. So I don't know if Carmen's available here or Sumaya. Could you say hello, Sumaya?
Hello.
Nice to have you, Sumaya. I think are you a dietitian?
No, I'm medical.
Ah,
I'm
okay.
medical.
Do you remember what I said here? What did I say?
The audio written presentation for the test.
Yeah, your connection's not very good there, Sumaya, but I think you're saying the situation. Guys, I said the situation is always a consultation. And I said it's between a GP or it can be a specialist as well. Okay. So there's 30 seconds before the audio. Uliana, what did I say after 30 seconds before audio?
Fill the gaps questions.
Yeah, it's very good. It's fill in gaps style questions. So guys, if you've never seen this before, it's like this. Fill in the gaps. Okay. And then what did I say next? Everyone, what did I say after that? Yunus, Taybet, what was next?
Spelling is important.
Okay. Now for spelling, I said that it's important. You cannot what?
Confuse people.
Yeah, okay. Now I talked about the timings. So maybe oiku or chala.
Yeah, you say 2 minutes for check. It's wrong.
So paper test, I said there's 2 minutes to check.
Yeah, computer test 5 minutes.
Now one second, when do we check our spellings, guys?
See.
Part C
The end.
at the end of the
End
test.
of course.
This is really important. If you've never done OET, this 2 minutes is very important. At the end of the test, check your spellings, okay? And as you know, Hussein, we can write notes sometimes. We can just write notes and change it later. Very important. I'll talk about this again in a minute. Finally, I talked about the computer test. How much time did I say we have to check?
5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Is that correct?
5 minutes.
No, 1 minute.
No mistake.
It's 1 minute.
1 minute.
It's 1 minute.
I was sort of laughing when I said that. So it's 1 minute to check spellings, but it comes at the end of part A. Okay. So you're getting 1 minute to check your spellings at the end of part A. Okay, what else did I talk about? Yunus, Stella.
After that, listening for details.
Yeah, I said that this
details.
this test is listening for details. So
For A.
if you want to practice this test, find some audio, write notes, practice listening for details. This is the test. Okay, what else did I say? I said B and C, guys, are
Deeper understanding.
it's more general and
Deep
deep
understanding.
listening, right? But part A, it's not deep listening. We're just listening for details. Okay. Now, this is the test, guys. 24 questions, 12 audios, sorry, 12 questions each audio. Each audio is 5 minutes. The situation is always a consultation. Consultation with GP, consultation with specialist. You get 30 seconds before each audio to read. It's a fill in the gap style thing. Spelling is important. Okay. We are listening for details. Now, techniques. What does that mean, the word technique? Rima, Naledi, Yakub, what is technique?
Technique, I think we need to listen carefully.
Well, I'm not saying give me an example. I'm saying what does the word mean, technique?
Technique.
Rima, go on, she knows. Manuela, can you help? Marwa, technique means method or
Strategy. Approach.
approach,
Way.
way of doing it. Okay. Now,
Like
this
how to
week,
tackle the question.
how to tackle it. Very nice idiomatic way. This week, I want you guys to discuss this in groups. Why not? We have Carmen here. We have Najibullah here. We have, who else is very experienced? Nyok, I think, has got some good knowledge these days. Hussein. Go into groups and discuss this, please, for 5 minutes, maybe less. Go into groups and discuss what methods or approaches or things can we do in this test. So Carmen, this is a bit of a chance for you to do a bit of speaking. Hussein, come on, take some responsibility with this. Rooms are opening now. I'm going to make sure that we have at least one experienced person in each group, okay? Okay, so if you're watching the video, we try and do some group work to give people a chance to practice. I'm going to be teaching techniques in a minute, but they can discuss techniques as well. A lot of them are very experienced. I speak to a lot of the students every day, so I do have a good idea. Okay. So just hold on for a few more minutes. If you're watching this on YouTube, just hold on. You can watch a little bit more. I'm just going to give them time to discuss. Okay, guys, can you just finish your conversations? Come immediately back and we'll talk further. Okay, microphones off, please. Microphones off. All right. Okay, so we've got about 15, 16 people back. Can everyone hear me and see me?
Yes.
Yes.
And I hope you were able to have a nice conversation in some of your groups. I'm going to start off with Christina, or we could try Stella, Omi. Could one of you say hello?
Hello.
Stella, did you have any chats in your group?
Yes.
What did you talk about?
We talk about the category of the
Categories. Okay.
yes.
Can you tell me what is categories?
It's the type of the words what we need to use in the field glass.
The type of the word. Does everyone agree? Is this right? The type of the word? Sounds good to me.
Where the word might be included.
I think this is a good way of saying it, actually. So, tell me more. What do you mean by type? Can you give me an example?
Yes.
Go on.
For example, symptom.
Right. So we try to we're trying to predict.
Predict, yeah.
So for example, symptom. Is that right,
Yeah.
guys? Is symptom a very common word type?
Yes.
So symptoms. What else do we have, guys? We have conditions,
Condition, actions,
actions,
Drugs,
Body
medication,
parts,
medication.
equipments.
job.
You get the idea. Job is very common, isn't it? I'll put job.
Time.
The microphone's off. We've got jobs. It can be time. It can be body parts. It can be tests, right?
Okay.
Okay, so one thing that many good OET students do is they use their 30 seconds to predict the category of information they need. That gives you a reason to listen. You're not just listening for anything, you're listening for example, a body part. Okay. Definitely a very good thing. Most important one, Carmen, is what's the most important category?
Description.
Description.
We call it
Description.
of. That's what I call it. Description of. And Carmen, can you just explain to the class what that means? Description of.
It might say that the pain is pounding, for example. It's describing the pain, how he feels the pain. It's not just saying it is painful. He says, I feel it like
So
this way.
a word that is describing. So usually what kind of words are we listening for?
Adjectives.
Right, guys? So usually some kind of adjective, or it can be a noun as well. Okay. So this is important. You see this a lot in OET, right? They give you the nouns, but you're trying to see how they describe those nouns. Okay. Now we might see examples of this today, so we can talk about this later when we look at the exam. What about signposts? Did anyone discuss signposts? Put your hands up if you discussed the idea of simple idea of, for example, Marianne. Do you see this? Nyok. Yes, Nyok. What is a signpost?
Yes. Signposting is, these are the words before the action. They're not in the same line with the gaps.
Say that one more time. Sorry, just a bit slow. I think that's correct, but can you say it again?
Okay, I'm saying, okay, the signposts, these are the words or headings that come before they're not in the same line with the gaps.
Okay.
It come
So
before.
guys, there's words or headings that are coming before the answer. Okay. So for example, can anyone see a signpost here for question 15? Can anyone see?
Yeah, J5. D1, sorry. D1. Feel and will.
This is some kind of signpost. Okay. So Najibullah, again, what is this? What does the word means?
Signpost means that we are or am, like we are
right, where we are. Yeah.
Yeah, our locations here.
telling us where we are in the test. Now, it's easy to get lost in the test, so we should be thinking again in the 30 seconds, okay, where are my signposts? And the most important thing Nyok said is signposts must be on
The difference line.
separate line from answer line. And Najibullah, why is this? Why can I not choose words on the same line?
So the same because maybe the question is come after that.
The answer.
Mike,
The answer, sorry, the answer.
signposts always come before the answer. Right? They tell us where are you? But if I choose this as my signpost, it's bad because they might give the answer before.
It is selector.
It's called paraphrasing, isn't it, guys? Paraphrasing is when you change the word order. On the same line, they will do that very often, but separate lines, they never change the order. Does that make sense? This will always come before 15. Okay, so it's a signpost. Okay, what about selectors? Did anyone discuss selectors? Now, Weeda, you've got your hand raised. Would you like to ask me a question, actually?
No, as you said that if you want to answer, you can raise your hand.
So, did you talk at all about the idea of selector words, or did you maybe discuss something else?
Yeah, selector words are always coming. The words that help us to choose the answer. It should be at the same line.
Why do we need words to help us choose?
As
Same line as well. Yeah, you're right. It's always on the same line, isn't it?
yeah.
But why does why do we need that? OET do something. They play a trick on you. What is it? Does anyone know this?
They might give two answers, but only the one
Or maybe
is the right one.
or maybe paraphrasing.
Paraphrase, but as Carmen says, what they often do is, for example, you know your category is symptom, right? Here, suffers from, actually, what would that be, guys? Suffers from
Condition.
Symptoms.
condition or a symptom. Okay, so I know that I'm listening for a symptom or a condition, but what happens if they say two, right? This does happen in OET where you hear more than one possible answer. So guys, selectors are words that help us choose when more than one possible answer. Okay, so what's Najibullah, you said you think GP suspected might be, you think this might be here, selector.
Yeah,
Right?
it's a selector. Maybe she or he says that GP suspected some condition, maybe like symptoms. Like...
So he might say more than one thing, and then this word here is helping us to choose. Does this make sense, guys? I'll give you another example, probably better example. Can everyone see 17 here?
Yeah.
Where is the
Yes.
selecting words?
Family members.
Family member.
So maybe he says another thing, a different thing, but it's not with family members. We want the words for family members. Does that make sense?
Yes.
He might say, "Oh, my child appeared very angry with his friends, but with his family members, he felt very relaxed." What's the answer?
Relax.
Very relaxed.
Relax.
Some people will write down angry because they're not focusing on selector words. So here's three techniques that I always teach. They're really quite simple. I know they're simple, but we're going to try and practice using these. We're going to try to practice using these in a real test. Is everyone ready to try now a full test?
Yes.
Yes.
Get a pen.